We hope you had an amazing holiday, everybody. Welcome to the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast on Fox Sports. As we are getting closer to 2017, have no fear. This is part 2 of the best of 2016 for the Compadres, y'all.
Hey,
Yeah.
I like the sound of that, Johnny.
Absolutely. We had 8 amazing interviews last week. We got 8 more for you this week. First things first, we're at Fox Compadres on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. I'm Jonny Loquasto at J Quasto. The lady next to me, she's a host here at Fox Sports. Find her on Twitter at Carrlyn Bathe because she is...
Carrlyn Bathe.
That's right.
It's me. I just want to note that we're all sweating in here. We wore our holiday sweaters again, y'all.
That's right.
Because it is the season for sweating in studio because we live in California and I'm dying.
To be fair, you sweat in studio a lot.
That's true. Because I'm always...
I feel so bad for you guys that you're so warm this winter. Go screw yourself.
How's that snow?
I know where you live, Andrew. Watch yourself.
Next to her, wearing the sweet New Day Booty-O sweater, he is also a reigning champion of many things. Find him on Twitter at Curtain Jerks. He's Scott Narver.
Yeah, so many championships under my belt.
A lot of gold.
So many.
So many golds.
We're supposed to sweat. These are sweaters, for crying out loud.
Exactly. That's what they're for.
Sure. Yeah.
Sweating.
And in Washington, D.C., enjoying a chilly holiday season, you can find him on Twitter at The Walking Dale. He's Dale Rutledge.
Hey, guys. Whiskey, my dog, is currently tearing up some Christmas presents, so let's make it quick.
Ooh, anti-holiday dog.
Yeah, right? He's one of those. So starting off, the first 4 interviews you're going to hear, of course, these are only snippets. So when you hear these and you have a good time listening to them, say, oh my God, I need to go back and find that episode. We have so many to choose from, and it's real simple. They're easy to find. So go back and listen to them for the Yuletide season.
Yeah.
Available on basically all, sound platforms that there are available.
All the ones they got.
If you got ears, we got something for you.
Yeah.
So starting off, you're going to hear Cody Rhodes, Broken Matt Hardy, CM Punk, and Melina. You talk about a power 4.
Can we just make that a faction?
It should be.
Can you just make that into a thing?
Imagine.
It'd be an amazing faction.
Imagine.
Currently am.
Oh, my Lord.
I mean, we had Cody in studio. We had Broken Matt via Skype. We had CM Punk. You had one-on-one.
Via FaceTime, yeah, right before his fight with Mickey Gall.
Oof, how about that? And then, of course, we had Melina in studio right before she went overseas. So enjoy these 4 interviews. We'll be right back.
Broken straight edge splits dust.
That's the faction name?
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it.
That reminds me, 2 years ago, I think we must have had about 4 Spaceballs references in the interview that we did with you a couple years ago, which I automatically respected you just for being a Spaceballs fan and knowing the references.
I saw Spaceballs before I saw Star Wars.
Whoa.
Really?
Yes.
As you should have.
I saw Spaceballs, and then I'm a diehard Star Wars fan. My first Star Wars experience was special editions at the theater. Oh. Yeah, I had the toys and everything, but did not understand the layout of the world, so I wasn't sure who was who and what was what. I knew, Luke is the good guy, and then I watched the special editions and, blew my mind.
Have you gone back and since watched the original cuts?
Honestly, in and out. I've never watched them.
Me neither.
In their full duration. I've never seen it. I know
Really?
Zack Ryder, that's his big thing is the originals, and if you don't like the originals, you're a dick. But
He's such a nerd.
my God,
The biggest nerd.
my God,
Yeah, that guy's the nerd. Why didn't he watch the original?
at down the way in Anaheim, they have the Star Wars launch bay at Disneyland.
Yeah.
So Zach every year organizes a very large Disneyland trip. Nice. And we love theme parks, so we always go with Zach on the Disneyland excursion. And they had the launch bay this year, and this is no joke. This is one of my favorite things that's ever happened. The game plan usually is go to California Adventure and just get hammered because there's no alcohol at the actual Disneyland.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So get hammered at California Adventure, and then all you have to do is walk. No transportation.
It's like Epcot Center. Go to a beer every
Oh yeah, around the world, which is another one of Zach's never goes right because everyone gets mad. They're so drunk they're mad at a certain juncture. But we get to Disneyland, and the first thing we do is we want to go to the launch bay. Mm-hmm. And we were on one of these VIP tours that Zach pays a fortune for, and we forget to pay him back, and then So
We can edit that part out.
No, it's on the record.
all right. So we go in and the music's playing and the scroll is on the floor and it's just like it's really beautiful for like a Star Wars fan. It's like honestly it was super touching. Like I was thinking, gosh, this is so cool. But he actually said under his breath, and he's standing right next to me, he just goes, this is the best day of my life. And I couldn't even share it with anybody in the group at the time. I was like, well, you know.
That is adorable.
That makes me so happy.
It's the best day of my life.
Jesus.
That's adorkable.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a hell of a day.
Oh man, this is the second time at Fox Sports that we've gotten on the topic of Zack Ryder being a nerd. We talked about it. Miz came in and we interviewed him, and it was the same thing. He was like, he went off, oh my god, what a nerd, and like went into it. Ghostbusters and Zack Ryder, and just
Everyone's got something.
Yes, he has a lot of things. That's the thing. Like,
he's got a lot of nerd things.
Yeah, like
it's awesome. Though.
It's a lot of stuff that you have to have a respect for, or otherwise you're really. Like Back to the Future is a cool movie. Like sure. I like it. I don't need to base my life on it. Like, same with like Ghostbusters. Like you can't say anything, and he just snaps. So yeah, and Zach's super hot-headed to get up in arms over these issues. So you got to get him on the show. Ask him about these things.
Yeah,
That'd be a whole episode.
At this point, he's got to be next in line.
Zach needs to come on.
That'd be an entire episode.
Yeah. Something I know you held near and dear to your boots there for a while was the Triforce.
Yeah, I got a cease and desist from Nintendo.
No way.
Yeah,
no way.
That was like in 2000. It was weird. It was like in 2008. And I got 2008 or 2009. I got a cease and desist about the Triforce being on the boots. But then a month later, I got a call to do an interview with Nintendo Power.
You're like, is this a setup?
Yeah, I was like, well,
it's a trap.
Yeah,
they're gonna serve you papers.
Cue Admiral Akbar. No, like I didn't know really like what to do, and I did the interview, and it was like about like the boots and my love for the game. So I was like, maybe those departments don't really work. And so, but nothing ever came of the cease and desist.
You, your brother Nero, your wife Rebecca, and Senor Benjamin have turned wrestling upside down this past year, gaining adulation and admiration from fans across the globe, really. But I feel like the current vessel that is Broken Matt Hardy, you're not really concerned about that. It seems to me like you have a higher path. Am I accurate in that assumption?
Of course. Yes, you are absolutely on the pulse of the situation. Because my goal is just for now to help improve Impact Wrestling, to help it survive and thrive and make it as great as possible. I want to make wrestling fun again. I want to make it great again. I want people to enjoy it. And then I must save the entire industry. This is only the beginning. It will send aftershocks everywhere across the industry. And then I must go on to help the U.S. It is a broken country, obviously, with that brother Nero, Donald Trump in charge. And then I must go on to save the world. My mission is much bigger than just a small wrestling promotion, but it is a start. You have to start somewhere, yes.
You know, you mentioned Donald Trump, but, I'm wondering, Vince McMahon's wife, Linda McMahon, was just assigned small...
business administration, the head of it.
Right, the head of the Small Business Administration. Is this because they fear your magic? Is this why they're doing this?
It is. Yes, they are assembling another army that as soon as I get through with total nonstop deletion, and I prove to the seven deities that myself and Brother Nero are the greatest tag team in all of space and all of time, there is another army that they are assembling that I must delete.
Yes. We need to. And I'm sorry for Scotty said Vince McMahon. I know that's not the correct way of pronouncing his name.
McMahon is his name.
Oh.
Is anything else?
No, of course not. And you mentioned about proving that you're the greatest tag team of all time. We just saw you this past weekend at the Honor of the Ring's final battle. That was a surprise.
The Honorable Ring, yes, please. Get all of your titles correct. The Honorable Ring, yes.
I apologize. What's your plan there? I mean, you obviously put a warning out to the Bucks of Youth.
You see, all of these fans, they're big supporters of these spot monkeys. They have a very terrible addiction, these Bucks of Youth. And they are one of the tag teams that I must help save. I must rehabilitate. But also, before I do that, myself and Brother Nero must defeat them just to prove to everyone and to prove to the seven deities that we are the greatest tag team in all of space and all of time. Tonight on Impact Wrestling, one night before Total Deletion, I am going to call out the Bucks of Youth, and I'm going to call out the Day of the New, because we must prove to everyone we are the greatest tag team currently. That is the only way I can save the sacred land of deletion. The seven deities have told me next week in Apocalypto, if we do not win and we do not prove we are the greatest tag team in all of space and all of time, then they will destroy the sacred land of deletion, the Hardy compound, and I cannot allow that to happen.
Mr. Hardy, I'm just, I cover some wrestling for Fox Sports, and I'm just really searching here. What are the 7 deities? Can you break that down? I hear all about them. I want to know what their names are. Like, who?
Well, they're very hard to pronounce, I believe.
What are they?
The 7 deities are the 7 greatest forces in all of space and all of time. And after my broken condition, whenever Brother Nero first injured me, that is when it unlocked my brain, and now I have access to potent parts that no one ever had before. Wow. And the 7 deities let me know. They made me aware of my broken brilliance. And the 7 deities are all across space, all across time. I have mentioned many of them. The most powerful are the 3 Nerik, Broher, and Gustafa. Oh. There are 7 completely, though, and they come to me ever so often. Nerik is the one that comes to me in visions. Nerik came to me in a dream and told me that if we do not win Apocalypto and prove we are the greatest tag team in all of space and all of time, it will be destroyed.
Do you think the ones that have their doubts are a little bit jealous? Because I can see Nate Diaz coming to you and apologizing because he's kind of on that same level of stardom. He doesn't have anything to worry about. He's getting those big main card matches as well and fights and things. Do you think the guys that are doubting you are just jealous that they're not in that position?
Well, I think big fat paychecks will definitely kind of mellow you out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I know a lot of people will draw the comparison of I was very vocal and outspoken about part timers in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
You can draw the parallels, but it's kind of apples and turnips. It's like there's guys that are workhorses in professional wrestling that I still feel every year will get overlooked for the big stars and all that. But it's different in the aspect. I don't think UFC has a cap on the number of fighters they have under contract, and the number of active fighters is always changing.
Yeah.
And, you could say that, there's a guy like Mickey who wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. So, jealous, I don't know, but maybe a little bit. I understand that, was I jealous of Rock when he came back to main event 2 WrestleManias when I felt like I needed to main event one? I don't think jealous was the word to best describe that. So I don't know if I can use that same word in this situation.
This is my only WWE question.
Oh boy.
I said
no wrestling questions.
Darn it, Carrlyn. Just my only question. So I know you don't miss the WWE. You've told everybody. You say it all the time. I don't miss high school, Punk. No one misses high school. I miss Miss Kinney, my English teacher from sophomore year.
Fuck her. Dude, you don't miss her. No,
I miss Miss Kinney.
Okay.
Do you miss anything or anyone about that company?
Sure, there's individuals that, you see on a daily basis that, one day I just stopped seeing, it's, there's a quote in the movie Stand By Me, friends go in and out of your life like the busboy at the local restaurant, at the local diner, and that's kind of life, screws fall in and fall out. And I've kept in touch with some genuine folks from there. And there are some that, if I run into an airport, probably, hug and, say, hey, how you doing? Catch up real quick. There's definitely people in situations and stuff like they miss, but those are memories. Those are all good memories, but the thought of going back there is like the thought of going to summer school, it's just like you have nightmares about it and you wake up and you're like, oh, whew, I don't got to go to school anymore,
That's true. As much as I love Miss Kinney, I definitely don't wish that I was back in high school.
It's changed. It's evolved since I've been gone.
Take that a little bit further. So we obviously know your career. We watch your matches. You talk about how the styles have changed, but your style, you mixed it up really with some great people. What do you mean as far as styles change? Like a stiffer style? Like what are we talking about?
Oh yeah, people are more. The women are more high flying now. They're more high flying, more aggressive. Like they're more stiffer. Yeah, but then I like that though. That's the way Jillian worked. That's the way Gail worked. You know, but this is just a different group of girls, or I should say, women, who they created their own kind of style that I would love to see how my character would mesh with their characters.
That's pretty awesome.
That's what I love about wrestling. Like, say, people can talk trash about my era of wrestlers, but for me, it was always beautiful to see what their characters, whether they were models or not, what we can create.
Right.
Because to me, that's the beauty of wrestling. It's like that's what you're, as a wrestler, you are supposed to make something happen, magic happen, no matter who your opponent is. And different people are going to react different ways. And I loved each person I worked with because then I got to see what I can create off of that.
What are your plans? You might not know this question or answer this question. What are your plans after this first match back in 4 years? Are you like, all right, guys, I'm back. I'm in the ring every other week. Like, what? Where do you envision your wrestling career going after that comeback?
Well, it's not like I'm not setting out to be back full time, but I'm setting out to enjoy the moment. So like right now I'm going to the UK, then I go to Ireland, then I go to Australia, and I just want to go and visit the countries and like work with people that I've always wanted to work with, or I saw in the online and thought, oh, I wonder how it would be like to work with them. Like I want to be able to experience these moments, but also enjoy the travels because I never really got to do that in the WWE. Like I loved everything about the WWE and my experience there, but it's a machine. You know, you go from one place to the next place, like boom, 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 boom.
It's funny hearing the mind of a wrestler when they watch wrestling videos like, oh, I wonder what it's like to work with her. We watch wrestling videos and we're like, we can't ever do that.
Yeah.
Like, that never crosses my mind. That's really cool though.
But whenever you watch it, do you ever like pretend you get all like amped up and then you start pretending?
Oh, we pretend a lot.
Yeah. Watching like
security
UFC.
comes by, they tell us to cut it out, and we get tasered.
I try and get my chops to echo on Scott, but it just doesn't.
I rake Scott's back all the time.
Yeah.
He always no sells.
So in your mind, you think like, oh, I can't do that, but you're already acting it out. That's like the first step, I think.
True.
And then that's getting your feet wet, and then you start doing more and more until you become one.
Oh boy,
so it's possible.
That's my trajectory.
Let's get you in the ring.
Oh, I better stop watching. No. Oh boy. No.
You talk about you mentioned a little bit before that your class of wrestlers gets trash talked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that a more recent occurrence because of how they've repackaged the women? They're selling the women's era now in a different light and almost undercutting previous eras. Is that what you're involved in right now that you feel is happening?
Yeah, it's so weird. And all what I'm going off of is only what I've read like on Twitter or something like that. Like I really don't search for any of this stuff.
Yeah, to your credit, you never have. You've never been like the person that just reads dirt sheets or like you really don't. You when you walked away, you really walked away.
Yeah, and the only thing I've ever heard is either my brother would say, "Oh, I heard this," or like I'd read it on my mentions. I kind of don't go any further than that.
Right.
So I only go off of what somebody has sent me. And I'm like, oh, maybe I have time to read it, maybe I don't. But it seems like it's halvesy. There's people who miss our era, they miss Candace, they miss Beth, they miss Mickey, they miss
Kelly.
Yes, they do. They miss Kelly, and then they miss Michelle McCool. They miss they miss the girls. And then there's other people who trash talk it. So it's like, I think it's 50-50. So I think people just, not everybody appreciates what they have when they have it.
What a fearsome foursome, Johnny.
Why, yes, it was.
Yes.
They were incredible.
Oh, such good people.
Oh, man, so much fun. It was wonderful. It was delightful.
We've had so much eggnog.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of nog.
And it's heated eggnog, so we're really sweating right now.
I can't stop sweating.
You're not supposed to drink eggnog heated. I don't think so.
Yeah, what do you know?
Nog.
Yeah, Dale, we do things differently out here, all right? Jeez.
All right, well, sweat in your sweatshirts and drink your hot eggnog, weirdos.
Okay, we will.
It's called hot nog.
So
we're hot noggin.
Yeah, or hog for short. Have some hog. All right, I will. I'll take a sip.
This took a turn for the worse.
Bunch of wild hogs.
It's way better for this.
We have more, or are we out?
No, we got plenty more.
We got more.
We had Cody Rhodes, Matt Hardy, CM Punk, and Melina, but coming up, we have Will Ospreay, we have Al Snow, we have Christy Hemme, and Jeff Jarrett. Are you kidding me?
Get your hot nog, because we're ready to rock.
Drink your hog and enjoy these interviews.
Al Snow made me laugh more than anybody else in all the 2016. It was so funny.
More than anybody else.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, Matt Hardy had me giggling.
Yeah, he had me laughing too, but Al Snow, he is so funny.
Well, you're guaranteed.
And he was just so candid too. That was the best part about it. Like he just sat down and rapped with us like he had known us for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you never know. Matt Hardy's 2,000 years old. Maybe he is too.
Okay.
Somebody else is noggin.
Enjoy the interviews, everybody.
We've got a special UK edition for you here. Right there. That's a dad as well.
Can we keep that in? I think we need to keep that in. We're about to start. Will Ospreay's dad's just driven off in a very lovely car. Ford Mondeo.
Ford Mondeo.
Oh, that is a classic.
2002 edition.
Oh yeah. Doing it in style too. Look at that reverse process.
Got a workingman's car.
Yeah.
Workingman's car, mate.
All right.
Oh shit! And now doors are slamming.
So much noise. How's this happened?
This is life. This is real life.
Yeah, we keep this in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Keep this in.
All right. So
we're here in the UK. I've got my buddy here, Tom from Wrestling Memes, and another great UK gift.
Hello,
Will Ospreay.
I don't even know where to begin. Like I started like 3 weeks ago for the Best of Super Juniors, done the opening show in a big 6-man tag, and then from there, I mean, I've just been having these matches, I guess, that have been just blowing people's minds. So, I mean, I don't even know why, because it's just my normal stuff. This is what I've been doing here in England, I guess.
But you set the internet on fire, basically, you and Ricochet. Could you have predicted that was going to happen?
I generally had no idea it was going to happen, because once again, we done like, I'm not going to say a similar style match, but like we done some of the stuff that we did over in Evolve. And it was just one of those matches where, like, once again, me and Ricochet have been working each other like maybe 5 times now. We like know each other's style. I'm not allowed to swear on this, am I?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I'm allowed to. So we know each other's we know each other's shit. So yeah, we just went out there and like as soon as we done a double handspring backflip, man, like we just know that crowd just came on fire. It was like, all right, we've got something here. Like, but for some strange reason, the internet has just gone nuts over that just one particular match.
Well, it might have had a small part something to do with a man called Vader who I wouldn't quite agree with his assessment, but I mean he saw a GIF, didn't he?
He hasn't watched the match.
Yeah, it's like
I asked him straight out. I was like, "Have you seen the match?" He was like, "No." Brilliant.
Wow.
Brilliant. Like, where?
Well, I thought your responses in general were pretty good. You know, you pulled out a sick Vader bomb.
Just do Vader bombs.
And then
I'm going to try and do one tonight.
So I was just like, well, you should really be doing more rest holds. That's really what the fans have come to see.
Rest holds are the way forward, guys. I'm sorry.
Rest holds.
That is the future. I read that.
Yeah. No,
but it wasn't just Vader. I mean, at this point, almost every main name has weighed in on the situation.
Well, yeah, it was very, very controversial because once again, like loads of people were saying, like they're not trying to beat each other up, and it's just like, well, if you look at it really in depth, we were doing counters to counters, but everyone knows that like we do the handspring like Superman pose. That's our thing. That what we do. So like. Everything that we done had meaning towards it. Everything had a story behind it. It's just some people had like different perceptions to what wrestling is, and like the only way I can relate it to is like I'm a Christian. I believe that there's a God. I believe there's a heaven and hell. And you guys are Buddhists, so you believe in your God. Like, but just because I believe in my thing and you believe in your thing doesn't mean you're wrong and I'm right. It's like it's just different styles of music. It's different styles of wrestling. Well, if you don't know the story, like I signed a 1-year contract for New Japan. The day that I was going to face Kushida, and I didn't know about the swearing policy in New Japan. Apparently you're allowed to swear, you can do whatever you want, but I didn't know about that. So when I said come on then you fucking dickhead, I was like, oh wow, I don't think I was allowed to say that. I got backstage and I went with the CEO and he was like, oh, let's have a word. Like, let's go talk. Went to the office and he had my contract and he went like literally just waving it in front of my face like, I think you know what you've done wrong, and ripped it up in front of me. I was like, Oh, shit. And then he gave me a new one and went 2 years. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, you literally just gave me a heart attack. Oh my God. What a way to do it. Like, I was like,
play for the dramatics.
Oh yeah, play on my mind and my emotions. Yeah, like, I finally got a job, Mum. Oh my God.
I'm coming back home.
I'm coming back home. Like,
oh God, you've turned my room into a gym.
Do you know why cats lick themselves? Seriously?
Uh-oh.
Spent a lot of years figuring this out because they're delicious. That's why.
You set that up perfect.
Kayfabe is basically what movie producers do. And that, they spend millions of dollars. That's where really the largest portion, besides certain actors, the budget of a movie goes is into the, research and the study. If they do a period movie, they research what kind of wallpapers on the wall, what it was made of. They reproduce that, the costumes, what were they made of, the material. I mean, every detail, so that you at no point when you've spent your money do you ever get taken out of that world. And the same goes that still applies to professional wrestling because people they know it is what it is. They want to believe. So you're on social media and you're on a social media account as your character, you need to be your character. Yeah. You can't now be John, Jingleheimer Schmidt, and then,
so many characters.
So many characters. You can't be the real person and then on your wrestling account. You have to be the wrestler on that wrestling account. It's a double-edged sword because it's a blessing. Because no other celebrity is more easily recognized in public as wrestlers. Because you may like Tom Cruise in a movie, but now Tom Cruise isn't that character throughout the rest of the day. So now he has to hire publicists and all this to create a character of a celebrity that now keeps you wanting to see him in the next movie. Where wrestlers, you see them, they're the guy that you saw in the ring, in the airport. They're that guy 24/7 and on social media. You can't now stop being the person that you are on TV.
Is that really difficult? Is that something
sometimes it is because it puts you in awkward situations. I mean, when the head and I were, really on over, I would leave and would go to dinner by myself with the head and buy dinner for both of us, go to breakfast. It's weird, it's not comfortable to sit there while everybody's staring at you at a restaurant and you're also buying two meals with one of them not getting eaten because they constantly are on a diet, and it's like, it's a moment on the lips, it's a lifetime on the hips. You don't have hips. We argue about this all the time. You can't drink all of your meals. Such an alcoholic.
Can't you, though?
Then they get drunk, and next thing you know, we're out at strip clubs whoring around until 3 or 4 in the morning.
Goes right to the head,
and you smell like glitter and daddy issues for the next 24 hours. You know how that is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Next time you go, the next time you go by the bank, pick yourself up some $2 bills. They look like 20s in that light. You'll have a whole lot more fun. Spend a whole lot less money. She thought she made 60, she made 6. But you had $60 worth of fun. Everybody has their experiences.
I met my husband on a plane going from LAX to Orlando.
And you were living in LA at the time?
I was in LA. I had a place up here in Playa del Rey.
Oh, sweet.
A condo up here. So I met him on the red-eye flight. Actually, crazy story. We're both sitting in the back, and right before the plane,
back of first class.
The back of first class.
Come on,
not Southwest near the bathrooms. No way.
Delta.
Got it.
And so right before the plane took off, they called my name and his name over the intercom, brought us up to first class, and sat us next to each other.
Are you shitting me?
And
Does Delta matchmake?
Right?
Do I need to switch airlines? What is going on?
What?
And I like the minute I looked at him, I was like, honey? Husband?
No way. For real?
Yeah.
Like that moment?
Oh, we knew. I mean, it was like so magnetic, and we couldn't stop talking.
Wait, you guys didn't sleep on the red eye? You just talked through the...
And at some point we fell asleep. We're curled in towards each other, and we're falling asleep.
You just met.
We're not like
touching.
Oh,
we're
but still like near, you know, it's a plane.
We are near, but you're in your own spot. You're in your own seat.
There's space in first class, though.
Well, some of us don't know that, Carl.
We have to walk by briskly and not make eye contact.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I shake myself awake and I'm staring at him and I'm like, oh my God, this is either really cute or really creepy. I'm watching this man sleep.
Holy crap.
Did he open his eyes while you were staring?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
So the flight, you're talking the whole time. The flight ends. Then what?
Then
Who got whose number? Like what?
He got my number.
Okay.
He was going to come to the show that night, but then he had some business stuff that got in the way. Over the course of the day, I went from being so excited about him to deciding I don't want this in my life right now.
Okay.
Tracy Brooks and Gail Kim, who were staying with me at the time, at 10 o'clock at night, Charlie is still texting me saying, because I was flying out the next morning at 6 a.m. to come back to California to shoot some show. And when I was leaving, he was going on the road for a month in Europe. Wow. So it's kind of like, you know, we're going to see each other tonight and cement that there's something here or this is over, right?
Whoa.
Did he show up with a boombox over his head?
Right. So Tracy and Gail see me texting him. I was telling him, sorry, right? Bye-bye. They look at my phone and they're like, no, you're going. You're going. Nice. They literally pull me out of bed, hand me back my clothes, change, right? And so I text him and I said, if you can be here in 10 minutes, I've got an hour. And he said, I'll be there in 5.
Oh my gosh.
And then that was done.
So he went to Europe for a month. You guys obviously, you know, talked consistently. And then how fast was it before he became like an item?
Right away.
Holy
I mean, we were an item right away. And then we married like a year later. Wow. So
this is so cool.
There's hope.
Who did Tracy and who?
Tracy and Gail.
Tracy and Gail, you're the best.
Yeah.
More ladies need friends like that.
We always say
Scotty, the
they're
key
responsible.
is we need to get called up to first class, Marl.
Oh, right.
I got a loaded question. For you personally, why wrestling? What got you started?
Oh.
And how did you go, this is going to be my life now? What was it?
That's an easy one.
Oh.
Super easy. Yeah. I'll tell you a little story. And
Okay.
I've told this before. My grandmother, her husband, my grandfather, went to war in the early 40s, and he came back to the States, but he didn't come home. So we'll leave it at that. And so she had to get a second job. And so her second job, she went into a shoe store, 4th Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee, and it said, need help, and then wrestling tickets on sale. And she walked in and she said, hey, boss, or whoever, you know, I read your sign. I'd like to be here. And he said, which one? And she's like, both. Anyway, long story short, she took a job selling wrestling tickets way back when. Huh. And then she was raising my father and my aunt and had 2 kids and started selling wrestling tickets, and she's sharp as a tack. She's one of my biggest mentors, if not the biggest. And as she went along, she worked her way up to what we would call now a CFO of back in the day before cable television. The United States was split up into, or North America, was split up into 22 different territories, they called it. And so she worked her way up, and then my dad in high school promoted shows and hung around, and then he married my mom, had kids, got out of the business, came back, got in the business, he wrestled, then promoted. So I'm a 3rd generation, to answer your question. So I grew up watching it. I got multiple siblings, and I'm the only one in the business, but from a real early age, vivid memories of going to the matches and being mesmerized by the in-ring action was obviously first and foremost, but everything about it, setting up the ring, selling programs, selling concessions, just being around it was really something I loved. I can remember sitting on the couch watching Jerry Lawler on the Letterman show that I shouldn't have been up watching. And, you know, my dad was a part of that promotion and all that kind of stuff. And then just as the years went along, and I'd like to see a bigger wrestling fan than me, honestly. And I've said that many, many times. And I'm blessed for a guy like I said, my 6th year in the business. So somebody's been in the business 6 years. I like to challenge them who's watched more live wrestling. Now, somebody may have watched more tapes, but I've watched a lot of live wrestling because I love it. And I've been blessed enough. When I got in the business in 86, we wrestled 6 and 7 nights a week, twice on Saturday. I did that for 7 years. And then went to the WWF and then WCW and all that. So I love it. I absolutely love it. I told you I was long-winded.
Once I get 6 years in the business, I'll challenge you.
Okay. Yeah, totally.
That's it.
Yeah.
And a huge thank you to Cody Rhodes, Matt Hardy, CM Punk, Melina, Will Ospreay, Al Snow, Christy Hemme, and Jeff Jarrett. That was part 2 of our Best of Compadres 2016, y'all.
Ring ding 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 a ling ding 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 Christmas time. It's the end of the year.
It's a lovely weather for wearing sweaters with you.
Chime, 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 chime. My math is off.
We should quit podcasting and just form a band.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could be a cappella group.
Yeah, why not?
Why so?
So, yeah, I mean, wow. What an episode it was. So many fun interviews. If you enjoyed yourself, go back and check out the full episodes. Download them and stuff. You just can't beat it.
There are so many stories that all these guests have, and there are so many stories to be told in the future that we hope to tell all of you.
That's right, and we're very grateful to have you. So, of course, let's all put ourselves over at Fox Compadres on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. I am at Jay Quasto.
I'm at Carrlyn Bathe on everything.
You can find me at Curtain Jerks.
Dale.
And I am The Walking Dale on everything.
That's right. We hope you have an amazing start to 2017. And guess what? That means next week, a brand new episode for you.
What?
Yeah.
We have to work?
Well, if you want to call it work, you do.
Man, can't we just play these again?
Technically, we could. Actually.
Oh, sweet.
We got, as the soundboard used to say, we got work to do.
Yes, we do. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. We love you. Keep chasing your dreams.